perform quite a bit. How is it going for you with performing and especially live in person performances after the pandemic? Because there's just a lot changed.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm a little bit more selective, I guess, and I'm working on a chamber music project right now, which is kind of working virtually with artists around the world. So it depends. I'm doing an artist in residence at a conference this summer at an island in the North Atlantic, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of it's still happening, but it's a little bit it is a little bit different of the way things are being done.
Do you feel like it worked better before, or those changes are just disrupting the industry, or those changes are bringing new opportunities?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I try not to dwell on the past. I can't change it. I'm trying to accept things as they are. But I do think there are opportunities now with technology. Doing, I've done virtual clinics. I've done virtual concerts now. I teach students virtually. They can be. I mean, I have teachers, students from all over that I would have never had the possibility to even work with before that, as opposed to the traditional, knocking on my door kind of thing. So I think it has opened up opportunities in a lot of ways. But it's still tricky, without a doubt.
Well, we have a few little snippets of your actual performances so that people get some peek preview of the concert where you're going to be performing at the Carnegie Hall. Let's see. And I believe this is your own, the contrast as one of the clips we have from your concert in Dublin, right?
Yes.
That's your own composition. Can you just say briefly how did it come to be?
Sure, sure. It's funny. That was a tune that means a lot to me because it was written during the time when we had, where the writer's block kind of thing. And I remember I was at my aunt's farm in Central Virginia. It was like 40 plus acres, and my family went out, and I just happened to be, what you do, right? And when everybody goes out, you're like, I have to practice, and so I was practicing, and literally this country storm came rolling through, and it was beautiful, and by the end of it, this piece came out, all the sections, and so it's kind of like a little musical, storm, I guess.
Oh, beautiful. Let's hear it.
Thanks.
Beautiful. What a great
Thank you.
piece.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Yeah, listen, Greg, I have some questions. You know, you mentioned earlier in the program that you stick with the music and this field despite the fact that it's not the easiest one to
Mm,
navigate. And it definitely is. So, I've read in your bio that not only you're a musician, you also have a degree in business. And I'm
yes.
just wondering if you tap into that degree or other experience or some approaches. How do you approach the struggles and challenges to overcome the obstacles in on your path as a musician?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. It's not really tap into. It's got to be free flowing the whole time. I mean, it's I'm constantly dealing with and being aware of themes and changes in the industry. You know, be it streaming. Luckily, I found a lot of in the classical genre, people are still buying CDs, which are nice. Because that's a lot more lucrative for an artist than streaming. Streaming is usually about a third of a cent on average per stream, so that's not a lot of money. And I also look into you know. Mechanical licensing stuff for, I've been fortunate to have music put in film or TV and things like that. That's also a nice lucrative. I mean, you have to, as a modern artist, you have to either you or have somebody working for you that is kind of juggling all the balls to, look at different avenues and revenue streams and things like that. It is, I mean, it is the end of the day. It is a music, it is business. So it's, the bills come. It doesn't matter. The bill collectors won't take sheet music for payment. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, they're looking for their money. So so anything, opportunities, either festivals or conferences or traveling, new opportunities. I've been lucky in a lot of ways to be able to do what I do. I do still have a day job, but it's also working in music education, which is very dear to my heart. So I teach as well, but I also work with music teachers in the area as well. So trying to create the next generation of musicians and appreciative of the arts in general. And so, but it is something that I'm always working on, and I'm always buying books and things just to try to just stay relevant and stay with I mean, talk about COVID and the post-pandemic as far as things have changed, in the arts, and trying to just stay on top of those changes. But it's a constant thing. I mean, I think you have to be, I know some people like us, will follow Facebook and you go, okay, well, Facebook is now turned towards kind of like the 40 and over crowd. And so if you're trying to get younger generation, so you have to be aware too of all the demographics that are involved with each of the social media platforms. And it's yeah, no, it's a challenge. It's like a full-time job in itself, and but at the end of the day, it's, you know, I can write a piece of music and perform for my fish, but it's not really the same, experience, So if you want to get out and play with people and get as much exposure, and share your art with the world, it's kind of a necessity. I found at least.
What motivates you to keep going with your performance, with acquiring your repertoire, with composing, recording? You're doing so much in that field. What's your drive? Where do you get energy and motivation for all of that?
It's fun.
That's a great answer. Okay, what is the funnest fun of all?
Well, I really like challenges. Um, I always like to see these sorts of musical challenges as sorts of puzzles that you have to solve. It's like, oh, how do I make this interesting? Oh, why doesn't this work? Aha, this is how to solve it. Okay, this idea sounds good. Wait, what do I actually hear? Okay, yeah, solved it. That's just the kind of problem solving. I really like maths as well. I did quite a lot of it, so it just that kind of I see it in the same way, kind of just problem solution, fun.
How
Yeah.
interesting you bring that up. A lot of people perceive musicians as on the other extreme of the spectrum from math and problem solving. It's all emotions. I just feel it. That kind of approach. So you have a completely different approach for you. You perceive performing and music activity as a problem which is supposed to be solved.
Well, you can see anything that way, really. Well, the
True.
question is, well, you have a job. Well, how do you do that job? Well, then I don't know how to come with an answer. Well, that's the first thing. Just understand what you're supposed to do, and then okay, how to do it. That's and that's the
That's
thing with
very
music,
interesting.
that you kind of make those questions yourself. Like as in math, it's like, yeah, okay, here's the math problem. Or yeah, but here it's much more open. There isn't any problem to be solved unless you decide that there is something to be solved. You can say that, oh, I'm completely fine with how this sounds, or you can say, well, this could be better. How do I make it better?
That's I really resonate with that answer. So you set your own challenges and then you look for improvements and you call that a solving upward
Yeah.
motion and in growth. Interesting. Well, let's hear how that reflects in Arthur's performance of the very famous Libertango by Piazzolla.
Shoot.
That's so pretty. And you
Thank
sound
you.
so lyrical, so different from Libertango. You're really very diverse. How did you get there?
Yeah, it's the same as before, just by question of, well, how do I make this interesting? That's a good way to approach any music, really.
Yeah, you really deserve the really blossoming career which you are enjoying at the moment. Let's see some more pictures from your recent events and tell us a bit more about what is happening in those concerts.
Yeah. Well, the right photo isn't really a concert. It's just me posing off my diploma wall.
Oh my God. I read in your bio you are a winner of 18 competitions. We'll come back to that topic right after the pictures, but this is quite a wall.
Yeah, it is. I even had so many diplomas that I had to take down a few of them and put in the basement.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have any room left.
Incredible. I'm glad you took a picture before you tore
Yeah.
them down.
The
And
well,
what's
no,
on the
like that,
second picture?
that's post that. I mean, that photo is quite recent. I mean, literally before that, I had to like, okay, I gotta take down one of these diplomas to replace it with another one because oh, that one's fancier, basically. Yeah, and the
The one which was
photo,
fancier. I like that. So
yeah,
what's the
and
picture on the left?
yeah, just one more thing, like the photo on the right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a photo in the photo. I'm standing in front of a red grand piano. That's actually from the Royal Albert Hall. I was
Beautiful.
playing there when I was 12. That was more or less my soloist debut in the Royal Albert Hall.
Incredible. Congratulations at such a young age. That's
Yeah,
quite a haul.
yeah, and the photo on the left. Well, that's me and my good friend Theodor Albeklader at the piano, who played in the Schumann clip. And that's right before a concert in the throne room of the Royal Palace in Stockholm.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. What a great privilege. You deserve every bit of it with your
Thank you.
fantastic sound. And now I want to hear a little preview, peek preview for everyone who are eagerly awaiting your performance at the Zlin Convention Center with the Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic. We'll hear the Weber Concerto. It's just a little clip, and I would like to invite everyone to attend the concert in person if you're there, or if you are not in the city at the time, watch out for our broadcasts. We'll be streaming that concert, broadcasting it to you, and you'll hear the Weber Concerto being performed by Arthur live. So let's do a preview of it.
Bye.